Hi, welcome to our global summit. I'm Kris Fuller here with Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino. It is Tuesday, February 23rd. And as you know, with our summit, we are hitting the high notes on some of the topics that Best Ever You celebrates and champions. And so 2 topics for today, right there at the top, accountability and time management. And we just wanted to do a quick live video with Kris and Elizabeth talking about those and sharing with you some of our thoughts and insights. And just like everything in the summit, we would love to hear back from you, whether you comment on our live video now or comment after. But let's start with accountability. Elizabeth.
I get to start with that one. I get to be accountable, huh? All right. So this is one of my favorite words because when we think about being your best, sometimes we're dealing with change or we want to change something. We're dealing with unforeseen circumstances and so forth. And accountability can be a huge piece of that puzzle in making something happen or take an action. Accountability is an action word. It means that you are holding yourself or someone else accountable to do something or think a certain way, or it's just such a good word. On all of these, accountability, time management, choice, and discipline. I would love for everybody to take a moment before we start even talking more about these and maybe jot down some of your thoughts on what these words mean to you. And so as we're talking, they can resonate with you, and maybe you have some ideas you want to type in the comments. But accountability is that moment where you go all in and you are there 100% or even more.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, when we were talking about what are our speaking points about this, everything is so connected. Like accountability, if you flip down to the word choice, it is a choice every time you take an accountable action, every time you hold someone accountable, because you can decide, I'm going to let this slide under the rug, or I'm not going to. And in fact, like accountability is one of those qualities. When I look at my core of me and my personal set of values, it ranks one of the highest for me, accountability, almost to a fault sometimes. I'll come forward and admit that. People don't even care, right? They're like, don't, just keep that to yourself. It's fine. We don't know. We don't care about that. But I really value that in my personal, professional, and business life. And so that is, on the flip side, one of the hardest things for me is when I'm dealing with somebody who maybe isn't as accountable or, wants to shuffle away from something. And so it reminds me that the reason I choose that as a core value and work on the discipline of doing it, because it's easy to be accountable when you do something good. I will tell you about my certificates all day. Who did that? Me, hands are up. But when it's something that is slightly less than sparkly, or it didn't end up in the result that you wanted, or you disappointed yourself, or whatever it is, that's when the discipline to choose to be accountable makes all the difference in the world.
And I'm thinking about it in terms too. Yeah, and in terms of like of personal and professional development, when you're trying to achieve, or we're trying to take that step to pivot or veer or alter your course or do something different, that change moment, this is a huge moment. Accountability is where you're going to have a real honest discussion with yourself. You're not going to lie to yourself or other people, and you're going to hold yourself accountable to do what you say you're going to do. So sometimes when I'm coaching someone, I will have them write an accountability statement to themselves. I am going to blah, 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 blah. And it can be really interesting to revisit that accountability statement in moments where you don't feel so accountable, or just when you need the programming.
The reminder to stay the course, that you made a choice, that you want to be accountable to yourself, and remembering that choice. And I know we talk about consistency and perseverance and lots of other great words around that, but that choice, that circling back to that choice and really being steadfast with that discipline. If I'm honest, I know that the discipline is sometimes the piece for me that I want to get myself, especially with me. It's funny. I'm very accountable to others. So actually, I'm going to take a little left turn. I'm going to pivot. Yeah. I am very accountable to others. If I give you my word, if I'm going to do a project, if I'm going to enter a business relationship with you, like, I will not let you down. If I see or foresee any hurdles or problems, I am the first one at the table saying, this is coming up. I don't know if this is going well, like over accountable before stuff has even happened. But that for me is also the communication piece. But when it comes to me, myself, it can be easier to let myself off the hook. So when I talk about accountability,
Shifting of the goalposts.
I do move my goalposts. Elizabeth knows me well. And it's interesting. In the coaching forum, I was talking to a woman just a couple of days ago, and we were talking about her health and her lifestyle and her kids and how important they were to her. And she's like, I would die for my kids. I would just absolutely like give my left arm. There's no question. And I think parents really relate to a strong phrase like that without hesitating. Yeah. And then I said to her, okay, but will you eat vegetables and take a walk for your health and longevity for your kids? And she's like, oh, no, I just want to die for them. I don't want to eat vegetables and walk and do. And so it's funny, when you reframe things. And it led to a really great talk about that accountability piece, because I think sometimes we're out of alignment with accountability. I sometimes do that to myself. I'll set a goal for health and lifestyle, and then I'll walk by myself in the mirror and I'll go, oh, I don't need to walk today. I'll look great. It's not about that. It's about the health and the lifestyle and the longevity and the focus on my well-being.
And then the consistency and the discipline. All these the goalpost shift. Yeah, these words all live together, and you could add consistency in there too. And they all are what need to align to make a change. Really, the accountability, the time management. The time management piece is huge, because a lot of us feel like we're sort of on that wave and life is carrying us along and we're not really in control of what we're doing, and I've got another day tomorrow and all this stuff. And the fact of the matter is, we have a certain time frame in which to deal with things. And if you think about how you actually really spend your time while you're here, and really pause and stop and do that homework of thinking about that, you might make different choices and have different discipline and have different accountability and consistency and so forth. So time management piece is huge. I once did a class in California, and I asked the class, would they rather have $1 million or 1,000,000 hours? Think about that. What would you rather have? It was real. There were varied responses. 1,000,000 hours or $1,000,000? Which one would you?
You know what? I think that's a great thought provoker. That's a thinker, and that's what we want you to comment on. If you're catching or watching this video, comment on that. Would you rather have that or 1,000,000 hours? Yeah. Time management too. We hear a lot as in our coaching practice. We hear a lot of people who just say, "I just don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have," consistently saying that, right?
Well, wait. If you don't take care of your health, you'll want that time back. I promise you. I think about it all the time with my own health, and it's a tape that plays in my own head. I just lost 20 pounds, and it's been a tape that's playing for a while now. And I think about you think about longevity, and a lot of people come to Best Ever You for health, and we talked about that last night, Kris, that comprehensive well-being. And this is part of that. It's a huge piece of the comprehensive well-being. Where are you going to be all in your life, and what are you going to do? And I just think it's powerful when you think about it. Yeah.
I love that you just shared that personal, because here's the situation. Every single one of us has just finished a year of unknowns and different, and you've been a champion for health and lifestyle and living with food allergies for years and years. And yet here you are saying, I just had to lose 20 pounds. And I know that wasn't easy for you to share it. Not that maybe doing it because you were like, we've talked about this throughout your journey.
And easy. A bag of chips is my jam.
But you just said to me, you're like, I just need to get back to that choice and discipline and just all in. You're all in. I know we just talked to Todd Stottlemyre, and he was talking about being all in. And you just were like, that's it. I have to reset. And I love that, because that's something we champion here too. You don't have to feel stuck. You can reset. You can do it again. And so that to me is almost just as role model. I make words up there.
New word. Role model. I like it.
Role modeling. That you have this authenticity, and you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm always working on being the best ever me. And sometimes there are things that still need adjustments. And at 44 and 51, it's a lifelong journey. And as lifelong learners here, we just wanted to talk about today's two topics: accountability and time management. We've posed that question to you. What would you rather, $100 million or $1 million or 1,000,000 minutes?
What would you rather have? 1,000,000 hours, 1,000,000 minutes, or whatever.
I would rather have the 1,000,000. I would rather have the million minutes, hands down, because I can earn that $1 million in those million minutes. And that's one of my goals.
That was
So
a lot of what people said.
give me the minutes, give me the minutes. But I want those minutes to be mine. That's the key thing. And that's one of the things that
There were
I'm
no
working on.
caveats there. There were no there were no
So I'll
asterisks.
still take the minutes. I need some of those minutes to be in Maine. So that is one of my caveats.
Yes. All right, I've got a question for you before we go. What's your
Yeah.
best tip, Kris Fuller, on choice? We left that one a little bit. What about choice?
Mhm. My best tip on choice is to ask yourself this: what is my goal in this decision? When you're deciding to take part in something, if you're going to, whether you're going to do something with your girlfriends or your family or for yourself, what is your goal? So if you are someone that is sitting there going, oh, my goal is to be fit and healthy, and you're about to watch a TV show, like, does that align? What is my goal? And if you need rest and relaxation and you're like, I just need to watch a little TV or whatever it is, but I like asking that question, what is my goal? What is my purpose right now?
As you were talking, that made me think of our 6 questions. Over on our YouTube channel, we have 6 questions. Like when you need to make a choice or a change or something like that, we have 6 pretty decent go-to questions. And the kind of the theme of them is, what is your goal here kind of thing. But they're framed around each of those 6 areas of your life. I was thinking about that. That would have been a good one to put up here. But anyway, what a fun conversation. I hope people will chime in on this, because I'm on any topic that you want to talk about that's, has a comment to go to accountability, time management, choice, or discipline. Even throw in consistency if you want to. We would love to hear your thoughts on what you are working on. I want to work on. I think that would be just lovely. And it's good to know that too, because as we go through these next speakers over these days, we can actually point your questions to them specifically. So, people will show up for people in amazing ways.
Yeah. And so we are going to sign off here with those final thoughts with you, and we'll see you back in 5 minutes if you're around. We've got Shay Vaughn coming up at the height of the hour, and we can't wait to share her words of insights and her conversation with us. So we'll see you shortly for that.